Let's discuss the pros and cons of the 2021 Honda Odyssey. First, let's actually cover some price ranges here. So we've got basically five different tiers. We've got the LX, that's an MSRP of 31,790, EX at 35,190, EXL 38,460, Touring 42,500, and of course the Elite tops out at 47,820. So you do have a nice sort of base model start at 31,000. Very, very competitive, especially with base models and other vehicles in this sector. So starting off, you're doing pretty good. But as far as how quickly that money piles up, I don't know. It gets a little tough for me. But miles per gallon, you're getting 19 in the city, 28 in the highway, and that's not good enough. I think that minivans are going to be getting far more efficient in the future. So Honda's got to step up their game. So I got to put a con on the miles per gallon. You could do a little bit better. The engine is a 280 horsepower V6 engine. It's a 10-speed automatic transmission, front-wheel drive. You do have towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. So it definitely has the power to get up and go, which of course leads to that lower MPG number that you'll see. So if you value a van that you have no problem on the on-ramps of the highways, this will definitely be it. It can get up and go pretty darn fast. So safety rating, you do have a huge plus here, a huge pro. You're basically getting a 5-star front crash rating, a 5-star side crash rating, and a 4-star rollover rating for a total of a 5-star rating. Super safe vehicle. It's huge, so you do have about, I think it's 4,500 pounds in this beast, so it's definitely a very safe king of the road. Seating between 7 and 8 people, so if you obviously have a big family, this can cover all your needs. So more specifically, pros to this vehicle, 2021 had a small refresh to the exterior and interior. Honestly, so minimal, but it shows that Honda sees that they gotta keep pushing forward. So I would expect a complete refresh here in the next coming years. You gotta do it to keep up with the other vans in this sector. Exterior is a bit more aggressive and dynamic when compared to others within the segment. There are, of course, the Sedonas, which are getting far more aggressive, especially with the new relaunch of that. But as far as being, more with the times, the Honda Odyssey definitely has that when compared to others. The standard Honda Safety Sensing Suite comes with this Odyssey. So base, it includes the collision mitigation braking system, road departure system, adaptive cruise control, and a lane keep assist. The Magic Slide seats are incredible in the back. They're quick, they're efficient, and when you are on the go, especially with a bunch of kiddos, that's very important. The engine, as I mentioned before, has more than enough horsepower. Get up and go looking great. Super intuitive center console for easy and safe driving decisions as well. Easy to navigate the hard buttons for climate control as well. And there's plenty of storage for all your parental needs in the doors, in the center console, beneath your feet. Everywhere on this vehicle, there is some place to store something. So plenty of places to store those garbage bags that you need for collecting all the little things that these kids leave behind. You know what I'm talking about if you're a parent? That's for sure. I do also really love the open space that happens between the legs of the driver and the passenger seats. It's very useful for long trips and can host personal organizers if you need to for all your hauling needs. Standard power front seats exist, standard rear seat reminders for the kiddos, standard multi-angle rear view camera, and you do also have a front controls for the sliding rear doors, which is a necessity in a van. It really is, especially as they get older and they can get out of those seats themselves. Say you're dropping them off somewhere, you don't have to get out of the car. You hit the button, they unbuckle themselves, they run off into class or to practice or whatever, and you don't have to worry about it. Also helps you to feel comfortable because you're going to have an auto lock on those back doors so the kids are extra safe. This just makes it easier and more convenient for you. There is a ton of space, obviously, in the rear, especially in the rear seats. That's to be expected, but this one definitely does a great job at that. You also have independent ventilation near both of the back sliding doors, so the kids aren't fighting over their vents. Thank you. Hallelujah. We've got basically two vents on the left and right along the molding of where the door closes, so they can adjust it all they want to. You don't have to worry about that. You also have that easy fold third down row with that has those headrests that fold down really easy, which is necessary, I think, in all vans. You get a much easier view, and let's be honest, you're not using those back seats all the time, unless you do have quite a few kids. But most of the time, parents have two or three kids, and you're not hauling everybody most of the time. Maybe you just have one or two, so you don't have to have those rear head rests up all the time. They're also easy to move, so the kids can move them up and down when they enter and they exit. You also have significant rear trunk space. Even with the third row seats up, you do also have beautifully responsive steering, even with the significant weight of this vehicle, and a silent, smooth ride for superior comfort. Don't forget snow mode. If you are from the northern states like I am, snow mode is necessary. So now let's talk about some cons. I would love to see an all-wheel drive option for this vehicle. Doesn't exist. Also, this isn't a complete refresh, and others within the segment are starting to become more aggressive. So, is the Odyssey going to look outdated real quick? That's a big question for me. Is it worth it getting it now, even with that mild refresh? I don't know, because I think Odyssey's going to have to come up with some pretty cool stuff here in the near future. It can get expensive really quickly, and certainly isn't the cheapest within the segment. So it's nearly impossible to customize for your desired features. So you really are stuck within that tiered system, purchasing features that you probably aren't interested in the first place. So I mean, that's the way a lot of lineups are going these days. But I still want to knock it, right? I want to be able to pick and choose a few features that are really important. It's really hard to do that on this Odyssey. So top trims use a ton of gloss black, which is not my favorite, especially for a minivan that's probably going to be hauling around some kids. Fingerprints, yeah, they're going to be there. But you also have the gloss black on the exterior, which is going to end up looking a bit dirty quite quickly, in my opinion. So car wash, might as well get that year supply of car washes because you're going to need it. I wish also, I mean, the big knock, we're going to go back to miles per gallon. I wish it had better gas mileage. You're going to need it, especially for those long trips. The infotainment system on this is also a bit obtrusive. It doesn't really flow with the rest of that center dash area. And yes, it sticks up, and it's actually a good visibility height when you're driving, so you really don't have to take your eyes off the road when you're using it, but it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb in my opinion. Also, I know I harp on this every time, blind spot monitoring. I need it to be standard in a minivan. I just do. Well, I want it standard in every vehicle because I think it's an important safety feature. But in a minivan where you're hauling around people, that's the purpose of a minivan, right? You need to have blind spot monitoring to be standard. Please, just give it to us. It's not that hard. You've got a lot of other safety standards options that are available in this. Just add this one to it, please. I also really, really, really hate the small front seat armrests. Are you kidding me? The ones in the center that fold down, there's no room for my arm on that. It's tiny, and I'm not even that big of a guy. So if you're getting into cruise mode, basically going down the highway for a 400-mile drive to, I don't know, grandma and grandpa's house for a holiday, well, it's not going to be that comfortable. Give me a more comfortable armrest, please. And lastly, the thing that bothers me the most is the push button transmission on the center dash. No, thank you. No, no, thank you. Let's go traditional on transmission, please. Come on, thank you. All right, and that's it for the 2021 Odyssey pros and cons.